Yo, what's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know boxing, bro? This beat right here is so dope to me, bro. This is a dope beat. That you guys are about to hear, bro. I really could make a song off of this beat. But anyways, man, we got Teofimo Lopez's fight week for Teofimo Lopez and Steve Claggett coming up this Saturday, and a lot of people are kind of scratching their heads, wondering how in the world or why in the world, because. Shout out to Black Panther 2. If you guys know, how is not as important as why. Shout out to Killmonger and Namor. They said in there, how is not as important as why, right? It's never how, it's why. But why this fight is being made, a lot of people are wondering why. I feel like I have a clue. But I do want to go ahead and give my prediction, break it down or whatever. First and foremost, man, Teofimo Lopez is coming off of his somewhat, I don't want to say controversial, but some people did have Jermaine Ortiz winning that fight. I actually could see how Jermaine Ortiz, in an amateur style, if this was the amateur style, if this was the amateurs, I could see how Jermaine Ortiz would have won, but in the pros, like I could see why they didn't. You just can't win a championship bout like that. You can't win a fight doing that. But regardless, the fight Teofimo didn't look too impressive or whatnot, right? And so I feel like they're trying to build him back up, right? They're trying to build him back or whatever, and it is what it is. All right, so we consider this maybe a stay busy fight, get the fans back on Teofimo Lopez's side. Because Teofimo is a very, very great boxer, especially coming off of before that fight with Jermaine Ortiz, coming off with a very good, impressive victory over Josh Taylor. So I feel like they're trying to just like feed him. And unlike Sandor Martin and unlike Jermaine Ortiz, Steve Claggett is a come forward fighter. I watched a few of his fights. He comes forward. He definitely comes behind his jab. He's very, very, very basic though. He is very basic. I mean basic on a basic level, basic. I don't see any threat. I don't see how he would be any type of threat to Teofimo Lopez unless if Teofimo Lopez just is purely out of shape. I don't see how this fight can go the distance. Because Steve Claggett, he's a come forward fighter. So this fight is tailor made for Teofimo Lopez to look good against. Teofimo Lopez has issues with guys that are boxers that can box and move. Sandor Martin gave him issues. Jermaine Ortiz gave him issues. But Steve Claggett is complete opposite. Steve Claggett is not as skilled. He's not really that skilled. He's like I say, he's come forward. He works behind his jab, and he does have a decent jab. He works behind his jab, and he'll come once he gets on the inside. He'll unleash on combinations. But again, I just don't see how this fight goes the distance with a guy like Teofimo Lopez. I feel like he'll run right into a trap that Teofimo Lopez has, and Teofimo Lopez has heavy hands, and he's very, very, very athletic. I like Teofimo Lopez as a fighter for real. All right, but looking up, Steve Claggett, because I was trying to see if it was anybody on his resume that I recognized. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into that. Now, here's his opponent. I'm on BoxRec right now, and Steve Claggett has the record of 38-7, 2 draws, 26 wins coming by way of knockout. So he got some pop in his punch. He got to have some type of pop. 26 knockouts, so a total of 47 fights, maybe. He's only been stopped one time, so he does have. So that shows he has a durable chin. How the heck this is weird. How the heck does BoxRec have him rated for 5 stars? That's crazy. This dude hasn't even fought he hasn't even beaten a top guy, but they have him rated as 5 stars. That's crazy, bro. The things that they do. All right, so he's from Canada. Canada just took a loss a few months back with Drake and Kendrick Lamar. So I'm looking at his resume. I'm trying to see if I recognize anybody's names. Obviously he fights Teofimo this weekend. Marcos Gonzalez Barraza. I don't recognize that. No. Let me see. He lost to Mathieu Germain, who has the record of 18-2. He lost to Yves Ulysses, who has a record of 17-1. I've never heard of these two guys. Danny O'Connor, I feel like I've heard that name before. Danny O'Connor. Who is he fought? Vivian Harris. Oh, okay. This dude got beat by Vivian Harris. Wow. And no disrespect to Vivian Harris, but bro, you lost to Vivian Harris in 2013. Vivian Harris was way past his prime. Golly. I think Vivian Harris is from Africa. For y'all that don't know, Vivian Harris came up around Floyd Mayweather's time. I remember he was trying to fight Floyd at 140 or whatnot. For some reason, they didn't make that fight. Golly, man, that's crazy. How you lose to Vivian Harris? And Vivian Harris past his prime. That's crazy. Anyways, so obviously Danny O'Connor ain't that well as that good. Chris Van Heerden, he lost. Okay, I know Chris Van Heerden. He just got stopped, I believe. By Conor Benn, and he was finna get stopped by Jerron Ennis, but the fight ended up being a no contest. He also was stopped by Errol Spence Jr. Chris Van Heerden. So I recognize that name. That's one name that he lost to. Let me see. I don't recognize anybody else on his resume. Nope. So yeah, I don't know anybody he's beaten, and I don't really know anybody he's lost to except for Chris Van Heerden. So man, I don't really see much of a threat coming from him, from Steve Claggett. I know he had a rough time coming up with the last name of Claggett. It's like anybody else beefing. But anyways, let's get back to it. My bad. Now, boxing, one of the biggest rules, you don't look through or past an opponent. But I definitely want to see Teofimo get back in there with some guys that are big names. Of course he's been calling out guys like Terrence Crawford, but I don't take that serious because, bro, come on, dog. Like, you wait until Terrence Crawford moves up to 154 and then you want to say, hey, you'll fight Terrence Crawford at 147. Like, come on, bro. I already felt like you were kind of hating on Terrence Crawford because he's the first male boxer to become undisputed in 2 separate weight classes in the 4-belt era. But come on, bro, like, dog, you don't really want to fight Terrence Crawford, because if you do, I don't understand that for the life of me. If you wanted to fight Terrence Crawford, why don't you move up to 147 then? You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I would love to see him in the mix. Devin Haney just relinquished they have him at champion at recess or whatever. So I would love for him to fight the winner of Puello versus Sandor Martin. Obviously, Sandor Martin gave him a tough fight, but or a difficult fight, not a tough fight, but more of a difficult fight. But I would love to see him fight the winner of that fight. I hope it would be Alberto Puello, which I believe it would be. Fight Puello, become unified or whatever. Who else does he have it's so many people at 140, bro. It's probably unlikely that he would fight the likes of Isaac Cruz, but I mean, I think that he would beat Isaac Cruz. Like, Teofimo could beat all of these guys, bro. I'm just being honest. Teofimo has the boxing IQ, the boxing ability, and the athleticism to beat all of these guys, bro. I've always stated Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Gary Antoine Russell are my big three at 140 or whatnot. And man, I hope that he would go for it, bro. I really do. I hope that we can get a unification bout, because I want to see Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez seems to be one of those guys that fights to the level of his competition. Now, with that being said, with Steve Claggett, just such a come forward fighter, I don't see Teofimo having any issues with Steve Claggett, but at the same, like I said, so I'm not worried about this fight. I just, in boxing, it's more so it's not what happens, it's what happens next. And I really want to see Teofimo in there with some of the top names, because, again, he's in his prime. He's with Top Rank, so they're gonna keep him busy, and they know how to build fighters. But I want Teofimo to come back strong or whatnot, right? Or move up to 147, you know, become a 3-division world champion. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. What do you think about this fight coming up? Who do you see winning this fight by how? Like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?